We continue with market research, but who carries out market research? Businesses carry out their own research into different aspects of the market for their existing products or for the possible market for a new product. So the first sentence here is talking about different researches that is done. So for market research, yes, a business will be the one to do its research, either for existing products to get feedback about existing products or possibly going to a new market for products. Yes. So secondary research is often easier and cheaper to carry out, as primary research may be too expensive for the business to undertake itself. So they might try primary. So secondary research is often easier and cheaper. Yeah, that's why most of the businesses, they try to use secondary research, because primary research is expensive. The business may decide that it can afford to pay a specialist market research agency, which will carry out whatever research it is asked to do, to find out consumer spending habits, as well as what they think about an individual business's products and its competitors' products. However, these agencies are expensive to use. So now we're talking about, for the first one we've talked about is business carrying out their own research. They might consider using agencies, specialist agencies, because they know more too. But using specialist agencies might also be expensive. Yes. But they are part of people that you can use for your research. I think that is clear. Yeah. So we go to factors influencing the accuracy of market research. So what are those factors that will ensure that the market research is accurate in terms of the data? Now we'll go. The reliability or accuracy of the data that has been collected depends largely on, one, how carefully the sample was drawn up. So how do you draw up your sample in terms of the population you are making research upon? So yes, you have to be careful drawing them up. The way in which the questions in the questionnaire were phrased to ensure honest responses. So how do you put your questionnaires? Are you sure your questionnaires are not questions that will give answers immediately? Are you sure you really compose them with honesty? Is it standardized or not? That has to be taken care of too. Yes. The sample selected, those are the respondents. So it is unlikely to be truly representative of the total population, but it needs to be as near as is possible. If a quota sample is used, rather than a random sample, it is easier to get more accurate data. Yes. So what you're saying is the type of sample you choose. But it's advisable we choose quota sample because it represents more than random sample. Yes. The size of the sample is also important. It is not possible to ask everyone in the population, which is why a sample is used. The larger the sample, the more accurate the results are likely to be, but the more expensive will be the research. If only a small sample is asked, the results are unlikely to be as accurate. Therefore, the researchers need to decide how many people will give them the accuracy they want and can afford. So here we're talking about the size of sample. So the size of sample will determine how accurate the research will be. Yes. If the sample is more, the accuracy will increase. Yeah. If it is less, the accuracy will increase or will reduce. So it depends on the business itself to determine if it wants more sample and it can afford it or it can't. If it cannot afford it, it reduces the sample. Yes. The wording of the questions. Trying out questionnaires on a small group of people before using them on a large sample can help to show if any of the questions could be misinterpreted. Any such questions can then be rephrased and revised and the revised questionnaire carried out on the main sample. So another thing you could do is try to test the questionnaire within a small group of people. So if there are any mistakes or misinterpretation of the question, yes, you would know, then you can quickly rephrase it. So not just print out a questionnaire and give it out to respondents. Try to use it within a group of people, yes, to see their feedback, to see response from them. So if everything is fine with them, then it will be fine with most everybody. Do you get the point here? So it's about misinterpretation. If they are not going to misinterpret the questions, because if they misinterpret the question, they will give a wrong answer. Mm. Yes, that's the point there. So who carried out the research? Secondary research may not be as accurate as first thought because it was initially carried out for some other purpose, and you would not know how the information was actually gathered. So also the source of that research is also important. The source.
Yes.
If the secondary data, you should understand that it has been done for a purpose. It was done for a purpose.
Yes.
It might not be really the purpose you want it for. It might only serve as a review for your purpose. So you should know that it's not going to be as accurate as you carrying out your own research.
Yes. Yeah.
Bias. So articles in newspapers sometimes have a bias and important information may be deliberately left out. So they might be giving you information based subjectivity. Yes. So they might be biased. They might not be telling you the real thing. They might hold on to certain information.
But they might influence the questions, right?
Yeah, but here we're talking about newspaper article. You're talking about secondary data here, like newspaper. Some information might be withdrawn. Some information might be retrieved.
Yes.
Because that's biasness. You're not giving out all information for a reason. So that is being biased. You're not objective.
Yeah.
Age of the information. So how old is the information? That is also important.
Yeah.
Because if the information is so old, that means it's not relevant for now.
So there's trends.
Yeah, so it's not relevant for now. Then it might not be useful for your purpose. It might not be able to serve the purpose.
Yeah.
Is it clear? So these are just some of the reasons why information collected from all sources, both the primary and secondary, should be used with care. It should never be assumed straight away that information is correct. So you have to confirm those information. That's the point there. I think it's clear.
Yeah.
Is that all?
How to design and use a questionnaire.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we go to how to design and use a questionnaire. Ask yourself the following questions. What do I want to find out? That's the main purpose. What do I want to find out?
Yes.
Then that will tell you how you compose the questions. Who do I need to ask? The age group, the gender, the income level or occupation.
Yes.
Where will I carry out my questionnaire? Where? The geographical location. Where? You need to know these things.
That's what, how, who, and where.
It is, yes, it's about what kind of research you want to do, who do you want to ask, and where do you want to carry it out. So writing the questions, right?
Yes.
When deciding what question to ask, it is advisable to ask no more than 12 questions. That's the maximum.
Yeah.
Keep the question short and clear. It is a good idea to keep the answer simple too. For example, ask for yes or no answers to provide the choice from which the respondent have to choose. So keep your question so short that it's easily understood and they can quickly answer.
Yes,
if you want, yeah.
Yes and no. Yes.
If you want to know the age of the interviewee, give a choice of age groups. For example, 21 to 40. Avoid open-ended questions unless people's opinions are sought. So don't allow them to start thinking about things, except if it's important. It's important they give opinion. If not, just a yes or no and it's fine. Do you understand?
Yes.
Be careful not to lead the interviewee into an answer that may not be true by asking too direct a question. So what they're trying to say is that whatever questions you are given,
yes, don't
ask questions that are so direct that the interviewee would not really understand the answers. So you don't even have to finish it up. It's giving answer.
So it's predicted.
Yeah. So you shouldn't let the interview predict what the answer should be. So yes, at least it needs time. You should have at least time to think or reflect to, not just to give an answer directly like that. It's not good.
Yeah.
Think about the order in which you ask the questions. Be logical. So know the questions you need to ask first. List them.
Yes.
Then how do we position them? Just don't ask random questions. It's not ideal.
Yes.
Ask it based on at least logic. You have to be logical.
Yeah.
Carrying out the questionnaire. So before going out and asking the questions, think about how you will ask the questions and how you are going to record the results. You may need to create a grid to put the respondents' replies on. So you have to think about how to record your interviews.
Yes.
So how many people are you going to ask? That's the first thing. So as you know how to prepare your grid. So at what time of the day are you going to carry out the questionnaire? Will this affect who will answer the questions or not? So you have to place a time when you want to ask these questions, and you have to put it to consideration. those that you are involving, do you think it's the right time to involve them or not? Do you think it's the right time to ask them such questions or not? Don't go to offices when it's maybe around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, when they are in the peak period.
Yeah.
They won't be able to answer because at that time, it's a time that they need to balance off to. So it might be difficult for you to get reliable answers from them.
Yes.
Where are you going to carry out the questionnaire? Will this have an influence on whom you ask? So the place.
Yes.
You are going to carry out the questionnaire. And do you think getting that place, do you think it's going to influence the opinions of the respondents or not? You have to think about it.
Yes.
So where we are going to carry out the research, the topic of the research, do you think it doesn't have anything to do with the environment? If it's going to have, then it might be biased. It has to be neutral.
Yes.
That is the point.
Yeah.
So go down. Presentation of data from the market research, So when information has been gathered as part of market research, it may be difficult to make sense of what it means. So the raw data will need to be converted into a form which is easy to understand. So why do we even do presentation? We do presentation because we want everyone to understand. So it's a raw data. You would have collected it in different ways. Sometimes you just have to quickly write some initials to carry out the research. So it is when you are done with the research, you can now put them in order. You can now compose them well so that people can understand. That is when you present your data. The raw information you have, it's only understood by you because you are the one that writes them. There might be places you use IB, AC, you have the meanings for them. You don't want to take time. That's why you use such initials. So all those things have to be expanded. All those things have to be explained when you are presenting your data.
Yes.
So that's why it's important to present your data in a way that it will be understandable for everyone that sees it. So, for example, after conducting a questionnaire, it will not be clear which answers has the greatest number of yes responses. So the type of data that has been collected and what it is used to, it is to be used for will affect the form of representation which will be used. Information can be displayed in different forms. You can make a table or a tally chart, which is usually used to record data in its original form. However, it is often better to convert the data into a chart or a graph. So make a graph, a graphical representation of your information.
Yes.
A chart shows the total figures of each piece of data or the proportion of each piece of data in terms of the total number. For example, if a company sells its products in several countries, a pie chart can show at a glance which countries have the biggest percentage of sales and which have the lowest. So you can use a pie chart. There it's going to be 360, the total number by each country, with each volume from each country, as I said, multiplied by divided by 360. No, multiplied by 360, sorry.
Yes.
The total number of the volume of what you sell here, divided by the total volume of the market, multiplied by 360. That's what you use a pie chart for.
Yes.
So here they use a tally. This is a tally. So they can use that too. It's representative. So 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tally chart.
Yes.
You can use it to represent your data. To make it just easier and understandable for those who see it.
Yes. There's the bar chart.
This is a pie chart. That's a bar chart. And we have an histogram. Histogram have spaces. Histogram.
Okay.
It's more like a bar chart, but there are spaces in between each bars.
Okay.
We call it histogram.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's a line graph too.
Yeah, line graph. Yeah. So
these are ways in which what they're just trying to tell us is that whatever information we gather, it is important to present them in a way that is understood by everyone.
Yes.
That ends the topic session, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to chapter
12, the marketing mix product.
Okay, thank you.